Welcome everybody to a new Master Duel video. Yes, I'm gonna make a Master Duel video just for this once. Please bear with me. I absolutely adore this game. I've been playing it a lot. That's why I haven't really released any Alchemy Stars videos lately. So it's fine, guys. Just don't worry about it, okay? I will release more Alchemy Stars. Don't you guys worry about it. But for now, I just wanted to bring a quick video, a few replays that I've been doing here in Master Duel. I got the season just changed 5 minutes ago. That's why it says Gold 5. But I actually reached Platinum 4. I couldn't climb any higher because I didn't have a lot of time to play, and I didn't realize that it would actually switch in the middle of the day. I thought I had like at least a few more hours, so I was climbing like crazy. So whatever. Anyways, it changed this season before I had time to reach Platinum 1, which is the highest rank. If you guys haven't played this game, I highly encourage you to try it out. It is free to play to a certain extent. All right, I have three decks. Two of them are top tier, which are Dry Turns and Virtual World, and then I have a third deck, which is the one that I'm going to show you today, which is DDD. DDD is definitely nowhere near top tier, and I'm really bad at it, really bad, so please don't judge, but I love it. I love it so much, mostly because I just really enjoy using all of the summoning mechanics, you know, like Fusion, Link, Xyz, and Synchro in just one deck. It's just so amazing. So let's just jump straight into the replays before my computer explodes. So yeah, guys, like I said, I will release more Alchemy Stars videos, don't worry about it. I just wanted to bring just a few replays here to show you guys like how cool this freaking game and deck is. If you haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a little hard to get into it, I'm not gonna lie. It is a little hard to get into it, but it's so rewarding. I love it so much. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh back when synchros were at the top of it, like when plant synchros was the top dog in the meta, and then I stopped playing a little bit after the Dragon Rulers meta. I just got really fed up with that. So yeah, but anyways, here we go. I'm fusioning into High King Genghis, so that then I'm using the slime. Oh yeah, I recorded this this particular duel just because I actually got used out of Divine Zero King Rage. And I just thought it was really awesome. I just blocked my opponent. It's just this one turn. I just blocked my opponent from doing absolutely anything because I just used Zero King. I don't know if you guys caught that, but basically I just blocked them from using any spells and traps or any effects from their hand or graveyard. So they're pretty screwed right here, right? And then like, yeah. So you can see I fusioned, I linked, now I pendulum. Like that's what I absolutely love about this game. I'm pretty sure I Xyz here too. I don't think I get to Synchro. Yeah, I'm gonna Xyz because I'm also going to make the rank 6 Caesar so that I can block them out of summoning too. So yeah, they basically couldn't do anything and they just quit right away, spoiler alert. But yeah, it's just really cool. I don't know, I really love DDDs. I really like I said, I really like just using all of the summoning mechanics. It makes me feel, it's like a power trip, you know, they just feel very powerful. So yeah, they just can't do anything, they just quit right away. So let's just actually bring a duel that's a little more interesting. Like I said, I only recorded 3. I wanted to make more. I actually wanted to make a video reaching Platinum 1, but like I said, I didn't have as much time as I thought I did. It's just unfortunate. Like I finished the last duel that I recorded, and then it was like, okay, I'm gonna keep going, and then I just see Gold 5, and I'm like, oh, okay. So the season was over, which is really a shame, but whatever, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna use Allure of Darkness. It's just, I guess you can see this is a godly hand. I just banished Kepler, and I have the Gate. I'm really bad still with this deck, so please, no judgerino. Please. I'm still very bad, but this is a godly hand. Like, I'm very bad, but I can tell that this is a really good hand. I'm sure I could have done a lot more. So yeah, this is the reason why I recorded this video. My opponent maxed me twice. This turn and the next turn, at both times I challenged his Maxx and I won. Spoiler alert, I actually won the duel, even though he maxed me twice. It was really cool, and the other reason why I actually recorded this replay is something that you're gonna see in a little bit, something really cool. Mostly I wanted to record this because I used cards in these two duels. I managed to use cards that, you know, don't actually see a lot of play or any play whatsoever. As far as I know, as far as I've seen, they don't actually see a lot of play. Especially in DDD. Well, it's not like they can see play anywhere else, but yeah, you know, like in general, just DDD players don't use those cards. I don't know. I guess they're considered bad. I don't know. Anyways, I just really like this. You're gonna see in a second why. I was just really excited. So yeah, I'm gonna link. Again, this is what I love. I love this. I link, I pendulum, I fusion, I seize, I synchro. Like, I love that. It's just so awesome. So the other deck then can do kind of, not all of it I'm pretty sure, but like most of the stuff that I'm doing here too is Pendulum Magicians. The problem with Pendulum Magicians is that it's so complicated. I just, I can't get the grip. So yeah, here's what I was talking about. So I go into Super Doom King Dark Armageddon. Holy moly, this is just so cool, right? And I have 3 materials. I don't have any other pendulum. So yeah, my end board is not the best. I could have probably gone into the rank 6. There was probably a way to go into the rank 6 here to deny summons. But whatever. I was just really excited to summon DDD Super Doom King Dark Armageddon. I love that. I was running Bright Armageddon before, but it's just really difficult to synchro with this list that I have right here. I just realized that I didn't show you the list, guys. So I'm gonna show you the deck right after we finish with the replays. So so yeah, my opponent's playing Infernoids. I never even heard of that deck before. I had no idea. But yeah. Anyways, he wipes my field except for DDD Super Doom King Dark Armageddon, because DDD Super Doom King Dark Armageddon cannot be destroyed by card effects. So yeah, that he basically saved me, right? Because it can only be destroyed by battle, and it has 3,500 attack, right? So it's almost impossible to get over it. So now he summons a huge fusion monster that again I've never seen in my life, but it only has 3,400. And it doesn't have any removal effects or any banishing effects. So basically it can do anything against my DDD Super Dark King Armageddon stuff. So yeah, I also managed to summon DDD Wave Oblivion, but he just gets rid of it right away, so that's a shame. But as you can see, I defied his Maxx. He had like 20 cards in his hand, and he still couldn't get over my board just because he didn't have enough points on the field to get over my DDD Super Dark King Doom Armageddon. So yeah, so here we go into the gate. He Ash Blossoms. That's totally fine. I don't give a flying crap about his freaking Ash Blossom because I have my Super Doom King Dark Armageddon. So yeah, now I'm gonna go into a Dark Contract with the Swamp King. He's gonna Maxx me again. Second Maxx, guys, and I'm gonna challenge his Maxx again because I don't care about his Maxx. Who cares about his Maxx? So yeah, at this point I was kind of panicking a little bit because I was running low on extra deck. I was really running low, and with this Super Fusion, he made me send all of my synchros to the grave. So even though I have a Ghost right here, you can see I only ran like 3 synchros, right? Siegfried and the 2 Alexanders. So I couldn't synchro anymore. So I was really panicking here because I didn't really have much else, but I managed to put Copernicus on the field, which means that Super Dark King Armageddon could pop 2 of his monsters. He didn't have any denies, he didn't have anything to prevent that, so he just quits. Even though I was really panicking, I was still on this field. I was actually 1,000 attack away from actually killing him. He would have had still 1,000 health left. So I don't know how bad his hand was. Like, he was Maxine, right? Like, he had a huge hand. So I don't know. If you guys know Infernoids, maybe someone can explain in the comments why he couldn't just, like, you know, get his turn and try to do something. Maybe he just doesn't have anything at all to deal with my Super Dark King Armageddon. So yeah, the last replay, and then we'll go into the list. So the last replay, I just wanted to show, it's pretty normal. I'm pretty sure I don't actually use anything too weird, like Zero or Super Dark King. But The reason why I wanted to show this is maybe somebody in the comments can tell me why I couldn't use Typhoon in this. I know it's Typhoon, but it has one O only in the name, so it's Typhoon, okay? So I don't know why I couldn't use it. I'm pretty sure it's basically because it was banished and then it went from being banished to the graveyard, and I guess that doesn't count as being sent to the graveyard. But I was so confused. So yeah, I'm playing against Traptrixes, and I just denied his opening card, so it just couldn't do anything. And I had 2 Allure of Darknesses and I have a Gate. So I'm pretty darn good. Oh yeah, I actually do manage to use Divine Zero King here. Is it King? Yeah, Divine Zero King Rage. I do actually manage to use his effect one more time to prevent him from using his traps. So yeah, that's really cool actually. So yeah, he Solemn Judgments me, which I don't really care about because I still have a pretty good hand. I don't actually kill him this turn, I kill him next turn. But yeah, this turn I was just really confident, right? Even through the Solemn Judgment, I was confident that I could just keep going because I had Typhoon in the graveyard. But for some reason, I couldn't activate it. Again, I think it's because it was banished and then put back into the graveyard by Ghost. But I don't know. If you guys know, please let me know, because I don't know. So yeah, I link, and then I go into a Pendulum Summon. I put Orthros here, because Orthros can actually pop a card on the graveyard. I don't know if you guys run Orthros if you play DDD, but I highly recommend it, because it has saved me more times than I can count. So yeah. At this point, I'm just bouncing Lamia back and forth. Yeah, to see right here, I wanted to use Typhoon to make the fusion, the level 8 fusion, the High King Genghis with Typhoon and Divine King Rage, Zero Rage, but I couldn't. So yeah, I don't know. That was really weird. So here I use Droplet, right? I send Lamia, oh no, not Lamia. For some reason, oh, this is another thing that I was wondering about. When I use the Droplet, it only let me use my my Gilgamesh. I couldn't target Lamia, I couldn't target Copernicus, and I couldn't target any of my Pendulums, and I don't know why. It just send any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard. So why could I only send this? As far as I know, neither of my Pendulums protect my monsters from being targeted, I'm pretty sure, and neither does Lamia or Copernicus, right? Like, yeah. So why was I only allowed to send my Gilgamesh? Like, so yeah, this deck left me so confused. I had no idea what was happening. So again, if you guys know, please let me know in the comments, because I was really confused as to what was going on. So even though I had to send my Link monster, like, DDD is just so broken. You can still go into so much stuff. DDD just doesn't care, especially pure DDD. I don't really like Synchro DDD because it's basically just Apollousa plus Borreload, and I'm just so freaking bored of Apollousa plus Borreload. All of the freaking decks do that. I don't know, I just don't like that. If you guys noticed, so yeah, here I can use Zero. I really like that. So if you guys were paying attention at the start of the video, I said that my other 2 decks besides DDD are Virtual World and also Drytrans, and none of them actually use freaking Apollousa and Borreload, just because I hate that. It's just, everything goes into Apollousa and Borreload. It's just so boring. So yeah. That's why I like pure DDDs better. Also, they're so much more flexible. I just love this. You can see, guys, I had an empty field, or almost empty field, and look at this. Like, I don't care, you know? And yeah, so I have Pendulums, I have Links, I have Synchro, I have Fusion. I also love that so freaking much. And I had exact lethal here. Exact lethal. So, oh no, actually I'm 100 over, but almost exact lethal. I was so happy about that. So, yeah, either way, this freaking duel left me so confused, because I had no idea why. First of all, why I couldn't use Typhoon, and second of all, why Droplet only let me send the link. So you guys let me know if you know. So yeah, those are the 3 replays that I wanted to show. As you can see, DD is just so cool. I'm gonna show you the list real quick, and then I'm gonna end the video before my computer explodes. So not affordable DDD, yes, because it was quite expensive to make this deck, honestly. I don't really have almost any of the stuff that I needed. So yeah, here we go. So I ran 3 Keplers, obviously. That's pretty standard for DDDs. I ran 2 slimes. I'm tempted to run one more because slime is just so freaking useful, right? 2 lamias. I don't really find lamia super useful. A lot of the time it's really hard to synchro with lamia because I only have a 7, an 8, and a 9. So yeah, a lot of the time I find it really difficult. So I'm thinking of cutting one lamia for a necro slime, and also I kind of want to cut hiking Alexander. But yeah, 2 Maxx's. You can run 3 if you want. I do have 3 Maxx's, but I only run 2 just for space because I'm already running 42 cards. So yeah, then 3 slimes, obviously very standard. Ghost wasn't in the original list, but I added it in just because I think it's really a really useful card overall. Especially with Allure of Darkness. I just think it's a very useful card. And also, I feel like Ghost actually helps me synchro a lot easier than Lamia. Like, I can, besides cutting Lamia for Necro Slime, I was also considering cutting Lamia for a second Ghost, but I don't think I'm going to do that. 3 Ash Blossoms for the Maxx's from the opponent. Berfomets, I had 2 Berfomets before, but the problem is, since Berfomet isn't really a pendulum monster, a lot of the time he clogs my hand. He can be very useful in some situations, but it's very situational, so I only run 1 for those offshoot situations where he actually turns out to be super useful. Copernicus, very good opening card, same as Kepler. I really like Copernicus, mostly for his monster effect. His pendulum effect I'm not a huge fan of. Then I have 2 Orthros, like I said before. Orthros actually helps me a lot. It saved me in a lot of duels just to get rid of the opponent's back throw, right? With his pendulum effect. But also as a monster, if you have him in your hand, he's also very useful, because after you use Gilgamesh, if you have him in your hand, you'll take 1000 damage if you use Gilgamesh's effect, right? And you can put him on the field. He's a 4-star tuner, so he's very useful to go into Siegfried, right? With something like Berfomet if you have Berfomet, or Copernicus if you have Copernicus, and something like that. Like, he's just very useful overall. He's a very useful card. That's why I run 2 of him. Typhoon is just standard for DDDs, but like 99% of the time it just sends Necro Slime to the grave with Copernicus or anything else, or any other effect that sends something to the grave, like DXEs. I usually just send Necro Slime, but you know, Typhoon is there just in the offshoot chance that it turns out to be useful, right? 3 Ragnaroks. I know that a lot of people like to run 2, but I run 3 because it's such a useful card. Dude, even his monster and his pendulum effect, both of them are amazing, and especially if you have him on your pendulum zone and it's your opponent's turn and they run over your Gilgamesh, right? Like, you can repopulate your field immediately, right? Because they pop your Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh brings back, let's say he brings back Siegfried, or puts him out from the extra deck, right? You put Siegfried on the field, then you activate Ragnarok. I had one game where I put Siegfried on the field, then I activated Ragnarok. Ragnarok brought back another Ragnarok, and then Ragnarok activated his monster effect and brought back, I don't remember what it was. I think it was something like a hiking game. No, I think it was actually Kali Yuga. Yeah. And yeah, I won that game. It was epic. I should have recorded it, but I didn't. Whatever. Anyways, Ragnarok is just way too good not to run 3 of him, I think. Thomas, again, a lot of people don't run Thomas, but I find Thomas to be very useful in some situations. Not all of the time, but in some situations he can be very useful. You can use his monster effect to make either Kali Yuga or a Super Doom King Dark Armageddon. Both of them very useful. I think in one of the recordings that I just showed you guys, I actually used the Thomas's effect to make the Super Doom King Dark Armageddon. So yeah, Thomas can be very useful. I don't think I've ever used his pendulum effect, but again, I'm a really bad DDD player, so maybe I should use his pendulum effect more. So I don't know. You guys let me know. And then go DDD Divine Zero King Rage. Usually, you never use him for his monster effect, right? Usually, you never use him for his monster effect. It's extremely rare. I just recorded those 2 duels where I did use him, but just because it was such a rare occasion, right? Just because it was such a rare occasion. Usually, you never use his monster effect. It's mostly his scale that you care about. And, you know, his pendulum effect does come in handy sometimes, right? which is that you take no damage from effects. So if you have Gate, or if you use your Gilgamesh while he is on your Pendulum Summon, then you take no damage. The other part of his Pendulum effect is just not super useful, because when are you ever going to normal summon Ragnarok, right? Like, it's just, I've never used it. Like, I'm sure it might come in handy at some point, maybe, but I don't know. Like, normal summons just no, I don't know. Anyways, it's usually his Gale, and the first part of his Pendulum effect that he's useful for, so that's why it's only one of them. Then we have 3 Allure of Darkness, just for consistency. There's a lot of stuff that you can banish here, it's fine, right? Some people run more jank so that they can banish it with Allure of Darkness, but I think that's a terrible idea. Ghost synergizes very nicely with Allure of Darkness, as you guys could saw before, right? You can return something, so it's very nice. 1-for-1 is pretty self-explanatory, right? It's just so that you can put out Kepler or Lamia, maybe sometimes Necroslime if it's useful, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Then we have the Gate, obviously pretty standard. Swamp King, I used to run only 1, but I added Wave Oblivion King to the deck. Wave Oblivion King Caesar Ragnarok to the deck, so I decided to run 2 Dark Contracts with the Swamp King instead of 1, just for a little bit more consistency, because I want to lean more into the fusions than synchros or anything else. Then we have Called by the Grave, just to stop the Maxx and the Ash Blossoms right on your Gate. So yeah, pretty standard. Then we have Droplet. Droplet is just very useful for in general, right? Just general use. And then we have a Dark Contract with the Witch in the off chance that it comes in handy. Don't forget, guys, that it also gives 1,000 attack to your monsters during the opponent's turn. Don't forget to use that during the damage step. I always forget, and I don't activate it because I don't have anything that I want to get rid of. So like, but it's really dumb. Just don't forget. Anyways, then we go to the extra deck. We have 2 Flame King Gengises. They're very good, very useful in general to bring stuff back from the grave as everything else, but mostly they're there to bring out DDD Wave High King Caesar, right? So that you can deny the special summons from your opponent. Then we have a DDD, well, I'm not gonna say DDD, but we have a Flame High King Genghis. I only run 1. I know that a lot of people like to run 2, but I don't feel like I have the space. I've been thinking of replacing High King Alexander with another High King Genghis, but you know, like, CPURs are very, very useful, so I'm not sure if I wanna spend 30 on getting another one. So yeah, then I have Wave Oblivion King Caesar Ragnarok. This name's, dude. Caesar Ragnarok is usually mostly useful to bring back when the opponent runs over your Gilgamesh, right? Because they can't really attack it, because if they attack it, I just equip their monster and they're done for, right? So it's very, very useful for that. It's situationally useful if you want to summon it with your own cards, but usually I only use him when Gilgamesh gets run over, right? Either him or Siegfried. Then we have Ghost King Alexander. It's just very standard, right? You usually just use Lamia and Flame King Genghis to make Alexander. It's just, usually it's just a stepping stone, right? Because it can bring something back from the graveyard. So it's usually just stepping stone to then get into Siegfried, right? You somehow put Lamia on the field with any effect that's not her own, and then you fuse into Ghost King Alexander, and then you use Lamia's actual effect to bring her back, and then you go into Siegfried. That's usually how I bring him out. But there are plenty of other ways, obviously. DDD is such a flexible deck. Siegfried denies a spell or trap from your opponent, so always useful. Also, I forgot to mention that Flame High King Genghis also does the same thing, but only on your own turn. So if you open, usually if I open with Swirl Slime, and also Ragnarok, I personally liked, if the opponent has back row, right? If I'm going second, I personally like to open with the High King Genghis, just in case. So yeah, but it really depends on your hand, and if you can follow up. You don't care about dumping High King Genghis into the graveyard to bring Gilgamesh, because you can bring him back later. It's just very, very, you know, it's very situational, depends on the match, depends on your hand, but just something that I like to do. Then we have High King Alexander. I'm really thinking of just replacing him. He's mostly useful for OTKs, but I like to go first, right? And I don't know. I don't find him incredibly useful. It's very hard to pull him out too with this deck. It's a little easier now that I added Ghost, but with only Lamia, it was almost impossible to bring him out. And he's just cloning my extra deck, so I'm really thinking of just pushing him out and bringing another Hiking Genghis, or maybe the Purple King Armageddon. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, he's mostly useful for OTKs. Again, he can follow up by bringing something back from the grave, but mostly for OTKs. Then we have Wave King Caesar. Wave King Caesar is... I used to make him a lot more because I ran 2 Baphomets, so I don't use him as much anymore, but usually you're never going to use his first effect. He is mostly useful for his second effect, which is that you can add 1 Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand, right? Basically, the way that you do that is you bring him out, and then you just link summon into Gilgamesh, right? And you put him in the grave, and then he gives you a Dark Contract. Most of the time, though, you're probably going to go into Tell, by overlaying Tail on top of Wave King Caesar, and so Tail is just going to deal 1000 damage to your opponent, because most of 99% of the time you're only going to be able to bring out Tail right after you use Gilgamesh to Pendulum Summon, so you will have taken 1000 points of damage, so you can inflict it back on your opponent. But again, Tail is just useful for that 1000 damage, but mostly just to link summon again Gilgamesh, so that you can send 1 DD or Dark Contract card from your deck to the graveyard. So both of these are, you know, like, you can choose which one is more useful depending on the situation, but most of the time you're not going to actually use them to attack or anything like that. They're just there to be linked away, sent to the graveyard, so that they can give you, put something back in your hand, right? Then we have Wave Hiking Caesar, which is the rank 6 Exceed. I really like this card. I really suck at setting up my board so that I can actually pull him out. It's very good because you can actually negate the activation of a card that would summon a monster, for a special summon a monster from your opponent. That's very good, but the actual great thing about this card is that it's not a once per turn. You can do that twice, and he also buffs your monsters just in case. So very nice card. It's just, I really suck at pulling it out. Baphomet helps a lot most of the time, so I'm thinking maybe I could put Baphomet back in, because it was a lot easier to pull him out with 2 Baphomets instead of 1, but situational. Doesn't matter. Then we have Kali Yuga. Talk about situational. Kali Yuga denies the entire board when he comes out. So it's very situational. You mostly want to bring him out if there's an annoying effect on your opponent's field that maybe doesn't let you do some stuff, or, you know, like, or something happens. If they have like an annoying field spell, or they have an annoying sticky monster or something like that, it's just very situational. If they have a lot of back row, or if it's a back row deck like Traptrix is, right? Or sometimes you just want to put back a contract. If you're on your 3rd or 4th turn, you can put back a contract on the field so that you can activate it again. Very situational. Kali Yuga is extremely situational. Then we have Super Doom King Dark Armageddon. Again, very situational. You're almost never gonna pull him out, but when you do, it's so epic, and I love it. It's a guaranteed destruction, because you can detach 1 material from this card to destroy 1 monster from the opponent, right, on the opponent's side of the field. But this card itself is a pendulum card. So even if you have no other pendulum monsters, not spells, monsters, right? They have to be on the monster zones. So if you have no other pendulum monsters on your monster zones, it doesn't matter. It's still 1 destruction because it counts itself, right? And it's a pendulum. So very nice. It's very sticky because your opponent has to either banish it, or return it to the hand, or run it over, which is very difficult to do for a lot of decks, right? Because it cannot be destroyed by card effects, which I really like. And it's not just itself, it's any pendulum. So if you have a Ragnarok on the field, it's also not going to be destroyed by card effects, which is, I really like that. If I can reliably pull him on top of other stuff like Siegfried, right, and maybe Wave Hiking Caesar, then I do, just because it's just extra protection, extra stickiness. You saw it in the replay, right? They get rid of everything, but this guy sticks to the field. It's very hard to remove. I just really like it. If for some reason it does get destroyed, and you also happen to have an available pendulum zone, which doesn't happen very often, you can then bring something back, like usually it's going to be Tail or Caesar, just so that they can get linked away or destroyed, so that you can add something or send something to the grave. So very useful. I like it a lot more than Bright King, just mostly because I cannot pull Bright King out. I already have trouble pulling Gust High King Alexander, let alone freaking Bright King Armageddon. So I don't really like Bright King. I used to have Bright King, but I don't like it, especially because I was only running 2 Lamias. So yeah, I was never pulling that out. And then we have 3 Gilgameshes. Gilgamesh is so freaking good. A lot of the time you're actually going to use all 3 of them in just the one match or the one turn, just because it's so useful to send stuff to the graveyard. Again, your Xyz, right? Or just send your pendulums back to the extra deck, and then you pull him out, then you make a pendulum scale, usually with, if you send a Ragnarok to your extra deck, then you can make a pendulum with 0 plus Kepler, and you have a 0 to 10 scale, and you can just vomit everything on the field, and it's so useful. He's so useful. He's also super sticky, because if your opponent runs over him, he can bring back a monster from your extra deck, which again most of the time is going to be Wave Oblivion King, Caesar, Ragnarok. So because that's completely going to stop your opponent from attacking you anymore, right? Unless they can somehow get rid of Wave Oblivion King, Caesar, and Ragnarok, which is not going to happen very often. So Gilgamesh is just a top tier card. It's super good. But that's going to be it for this video, I think, before my computer explodes. It's just such a nice deck. It's so flexible. I really enjoy it. One more thing that I want to mention is Purple King is also very useful, and I have been thinking of putting him where is it? Is it a rare? I think it's a rare, right? Yeah. Purple King is also very useful. It destroys an opponent's monster in attack position. It inflicts damage. It's just very useful overall. It also helps your fusion monsters when you attack, right? Like it's just very useful. I think out of all the Doom Kings, I think Purple and Dark are the best ones. I really don't like Bright King, but I'm sure the synchro versions of the deck like Bright King a lot better than these two, but I don't know. I'm thinking of replacing High King Alexander with either Purple King or another High King Genghis. I don't know, I'm thinking about it. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know a lot of you probably don't even play Yu-Gi-Oh! And have absolutely no freaking clue what the hell am I talking about. It's way too complicated to get into it right now. Just know that this deck basically uses every single summoning technique in the entire game, which is a lot, because you have special summons, obviously, you have pendulums, you have fusion, you have synchro, you have Xyz, and you have links, which is basically every summoning mechanic except for rituals. It's the only one that's not represented here, and I just love that. It's just such a power trip. I love that. But yeah, if you guys are interested in playing Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're interested in getting into the game, I 100% do not recommend that you start with this deck, because it's just going to blow your mind away. You really need to know, like, pretty much, you need to be familiar with most of the mechanics in the game. So I recommend something a lot simpler, like, I don't know, maybe Blue Eyes or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys are interested, check this game out. It's called Master Duel. It's only out in mobile for a few countries. It's not a lot. I think it's Japan and a few countries in Europe, and that's it. But you can definitely download the APK. Other than that, it's in PlayStation 4, 5, it's in Switch, it's in your computer. It's everywhere except for mobile. So yeah, I know. My audience is mostly mobile. I'm sorry. But you can definitely download the APK if you know how, with TapTap or something like that. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded a lot of Alchemy Stars. I've been playing this game like crazy, but I will go back to Alchemy Stars right away. Hopefully I'll upload another video tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, leave a comment. Please help me understand what the hell was going on in that Typhoon game, and subscribe if you like more videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.